Hello and welcome back to the final installment of Band of Comrades, where we will hopefully exit our force here and thus win the scenario and probably also the campaign. Other than that, one thing I did notice is there's another one of these barricades here, so I think there might be a second flak here covering this direction, so that should probably be taken out as well, even though that will be a pain in the ass again. Anyway, let's boogie. Okay, there are still people here and probably a flak gun as well. Oh, these I will send off the map first, just to see if they survive it. And these will capture the crossroads and root out if there's still somebody alive in here. Yeah, certainly a flak gun. Okay, hopefully that will take it out. The SU can now shoot in the general direction. Yeah. I hope that took it out. Okay, bum rush. That's probably the last strong point of the Germans here. Maybe it's... no, it's probably not taken out, but maybe it's suppressed a bit. It's so weird how they can't spot it. Like, it's right there. And because I can't spot it, you can't properly suppress it either, because you can't target something that's not there, and you can't target the ground because it's flat. But anyway, they seem to have abandoned it. Okay, yeah, that should be that. So some guys hanging around here. Okay, here come my the forces that I want to exit. Over here, yep, first one are leaving. Every soldier that I leave is basically a point for me. Okay, got it. This guy's flak crew is surrendering. Nice. And here we have our forces which we are exiting. To be honest, I might actually skip the next rounds unless something happens, simply because, well, what I'm doing now is just running off the map here. So it might be that I will just skip to the end of the scenario and then give a short review of the campaign. But we will see, maybe something else is happening. Okay, yeah, the last rounds were completely uneventful. Basically, I'm just retreating, well, not retreating, but moving off-map my forces here. Now, I didn't manage to get all of them off-map, simply because I don't have transport and it takes too long. Also, I did forget to move this SU, so that's my bad. But the rest is like, I mean, they're all already exhausted. For example, these machine gun teams and several HQ elements. So it was really, in my opinion, impossible to get them all off map. But most of my forces are exited, so I should get a pretty good score. Yeah, these are exited as well. All points in the bank. Okay, let's see. Major victory, nice. Okay, review the map. So yeah, some stuff I still had. Germans also had some survivors over here, but I couldn't interfere. So this is the flank that I did not attack. What did they have here? Scout team, sniper, artillery observer. Oh well. I really want to know how much damage those stupid feeling flux did, because those are really frustrating to deal with. 28, Jesus Christ. And this one probably like 3 or 4, but still. Where was that here? 6, okay. Yeah, the problem is now, because I retreated most of the main units off map, I can't actually check how many kills they got, so that's kind of lame. I guess that one SU, well, 6. Anyway, so that concludes this campaign, let's see, and yeah. Allied forces, or Allied force major victory. Your command of the glorious 1st Guards Rifle Division played a vital role in the collapse of the fascist forces in the Orsha area. The road to Minsk is now open to our armored forces so that we may complete the liberation of Belarus. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, the Axis really lost quite a few men and vehicles against me, so that's nice. So, generally speaking, I did like the campaign, although it wasn't amazing. It had its ups and downs, I would say. Now, one thing, and I already mentioned this, one thing I think is a general problem with the Red Thunder module or game is that the terrain isn't all that much fun. In combat mission, it's generally most fun if you have a fairly clear-cut situation that you have to deal with. Like in Normandy, you fight from one hedge to the next, right? You line up your men on the hedge, and you know everybody can shoot. You know where they can be shot from, it's very clear. With the forests and swamps here, it gets so murky, where, especially with the spotting system, which isn't very well coded to begin with, you get in this trial and error kind of area. You know, the best example probably those flak feelings. Those were just not fun. It's you couldn't properly suppress them because you couldn't target them, because if you can't spot them you can't target the ground, which is a problem that you don't have if you have bocage or walls or whatever. So basically it just felt like running people into them until they were dead, because there was no way you could tactically take them out because of the shit spotting system and the way the terrain works. So basically, if I was them, assuming they are not like they don't have the manpower and are not competent enough to overhaul their spotting system, which I think is the case, what they should probably do is change the way their maps are designed and the way their forests work. Something like having the units line up, for example, at the edges of forests, like they do on walls, stuff like that. So you have some proper, tactics, and not just this murky trial and error stuff. Other than that, campaign was quite fun. I think the best scenario was, for one thing, the one in the town, because that one didn't suffer from that issue from these issues I was talking about, because you did have the forests and the not the forests, you did have the walls and the fences and the hedges, so that was a lot more fun. And then also the one where you had the IS-2 tanks. In fact, that kind of felt more like a finale than this one, like a final big battle, whereas this one, wasn't horrible, but the flak guns were very frustrating, but this one didn't really feel like a big end, like a big showdown. Which I'm guessing that's because, of course, they're trying to replicate history, but still. So yeah, those two were the best ones. Generally speaking, I did learn a lot about how the Soviet forces work, which I think these were the forces I played the least. Well, that's not true, I guess the Italians I played the least, but the Soviet forces, you can't be too fancy with them. It feels more like you're wielding not a sword but a sledgehammer, and it's like, okay, you set yourself one goal, one plan, and then you do that, and you don't stray from it. You don't do anything fancy. Like in the first scenario, I tried to play them like the Germans or the Western Allies, where it's like, okay, I make contact, and then I choose one area of the front to break through, and it kind of worked, but then I didn't really have the necessary forces to complete the scenario, even though I broke through, and I didn't have the flexibility to quickly switch around. So the best thing with the Soviets is, look at the map, look, okay, where will it probably be the easiest, and then throw everything at that. And by that I don't mean like human wave attacks, like which is the what's it called, the kind of Hollywood cliche of the Soviets, of course. You don't waste your troops, but you do make sure that you concentrate them at one point, and then shoot the Germans right in the face with direct fire artillery, with submachine guns, and overwhelm them by firepower and numbers. And then it usually works. For example, in this scenario, which was to a degree similar to the first one, it worked out a lot better because I concentrated in one area. So yeah. Other than that, I think the Soviets are great for close combat, for city fighting, for forest fighting, simply because of the many automatic weapons. And usually you get lots of either tanks or, in this case, assault guns to give direct fire. Could use some more ammo, but, well, other than that, pretty nice. But they do certainly play differently from the Western Allies or the Germans. So, yeah, I guess that's my concluding, those are my concluding remarks. I did have a lot of fun in this campaign, even though it did have its lows. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as well, and as always, thanks for watching, have a nice day.